The number one way to inspire change in someone's life is by sharing your story. Imagine if your story was the one in a million that someone desperately needs to hear. I'm Devin Schubert, and I'm on a mission to share 1 million stories across social media. And I want your story. It's time to take your story to the stage. And now, here's one of those stories.
I don't remember my mom's voice. I don't remember the touch of her hand. You see, I was just a little over a year old when she passed away. And of course, my dad was just young out of high school and he didn't know what to do with a child. So I was passed around to family members trying to see who would take care of me. Eventually, my paternal grandpa and his wife decided they would take me in. So I moved into their one-bedroom cottage on the lake, and they took care of me. In spite of having a home and people who would feed me and provide for me, there was a loss that was developing deep within me from the time of my mom's departure. Now, my grandpa absolutely loved me. I was his princess. In fact, he was the only male I knew that actually cared anything about me. My dad had remarried and then he joined the army, so he wasn't around. At the age of 8, my grandpa passed away. Wow. That hole that had developed just 7 years prior suddenly got bigger. Suddenly, I did not know how to cope. And I did go into depression, even at 8 years old. I learned how to play keyboard during that time because the doctor suggested that having something to do and keeping my mind busy might help. It wasn't long after that that my uncle molested me. I began to build walls, great big brick walls all the way around me. I wasn't going to let anyone into my world to hurt me or to leave me again. As I went into my teenage years, I tried to fill those voids with drugs, alcohol. Into my 20s, it was the wild parties, but none of that filled me up. None of that filled up the loss, the loneliness, the grief. Then in my 20s, I did marry, and I thought that might take care of everything for me because, after all, there was a male who actually loved me for me. But that didn't work. That wasn't enough. You see, I had a hole inside of me. I had a longing for something. I didn't know what it was. One day, I decided I was just done with my life as I knew it. I was going to hitchhike down south. It was winter up north. I was going to throw it all away. Throw away my marriage, my home, my family, my friends. But when that thought came in my head, another thought came in that said, that's not going to work. And I, in desperation, called out and said, God, if you are real, do something. I didn't even know if there was a God, but I was putting him to a test. If he was there, he better show himself to me. And in only the way God could do, he drew me, just supernaturally drew me to my nightstand. And as I opened the drawer, there was a Bible in there that another grandparent had given me at high school graduation. Of course, I had never opened it. Didn't intend to. But that day, since I had just cried out to God, I thought, this just might be God. So I picked up the Bible, sat on my bed, and I turned to the first page of Genesis, thinking this is just a book like any other book. Started to read. I hadn't gotten very far until I realized I had a purpose. I was loved. Little by little, my life began to change. As I read the Word, as I went to church and Bible study and just got everything I could to know about Jesus, I began to think differently, act differently, began to hang around different people. And then I discovered my purpose had a mission. My mission has been going on for over 40 years. My mission is to see women rise up out of the pits that they've been in. Many like me since childhood. And the labels that have been put upon us, like you're not enough, you're stupid, you're fat, you're ugly. Those labels all have to go. Because Jesus Christ went to the cross for you and for me. And he did that so that those labels, so that the chains of the enemy would be destroyed. And that's my mission, to let women know that they are loved and that they have a purpose. I have been blessed to teach women, to pray with them. I've gotten to write a book series called Love in the Drawer, which ministers to women. And now I am still reaching out to women, and I continue to do even more as I go on. So that brokenness that I began with has become a legacy, and it is still being written. Thank you.